Chapter 1: Autoresponder Basics. A synopsis. Initially, these autoresponders were designed to be used by individuals who were at a specific given time, unable to respond physically to emails sent to them due to various reasons. The basics. Some of these reasons may include being away on vacation, occupied on projects that demand a lot of time spent away from computer access, involved in endeavors that require undivided attention, and any other distractions that would contribute to keeping an individual away from the task of immediately replying emails. Current autoresponders are designed to respond to emails in very different ways. They can be used as email marketing tools, which provide information to the customer base or any prospective customers as a responding reaction. It is also used as follow-up elements, which are sent out at preset intervals. There are two basic categories in which the autoresponders can be classified into: the outsourced ASB model, which functions as an operating tool on the provider's infrastructure and is used to configure via a web-based control panel. Here is customers is usually billed a monthly fee for the service. This particular autoresponder feature is easy to implement for the end user. The server side is another autoresponder, which enables the user to install the system on their own individual server. However, this takes some technical skill requirements. The autoresponders are usually incorporated into the electronic mailing list for software to confirm subscriptions, unsubscriptions, posts, and other activities that may be listed. All these have proved to be quite useful to those individuals who would like to assure their mailing list subscribers of their undivided attention. Chapter 2: Decide what autoresponder is best for you. A synopsis. Having major benefits, the autoresponders is great for managing the subscriber base. This can be done in an efficient and timely manner, which is excellent when responses to emails are dealt with immediately. Making a choice. This is especially important when it comes to managing business transactions in an automatic way, especially when the initial exercise spans over a wide base. Exploring all the different types of autoresponders available, and then deciding the one that is most suitable is very important, as autoresponders vary according to its features and intended use. Some autoresponders are designed to give out free information to ensure the subscribers are kept abreast with the latest developments and information. These are usually done in a time-managed manner to ensure the information does not create an overwhelming feel to the subscriber. The ability to cover a number of different features would then entail the user to ensure the autoresponders picked is done so with consideration to its eventual contribution to the overall business engine. The delivery rate is also another very fundamental aspect that should be considered when choosing the appropriate autoresponders. The prime end result desired in any email sent is the response it is able to garner. Therefore, there is a need to choose an autoresponders that is capable to reaching the prospect while catering to the specific needs of the said prospects or subscribers. There is also a fine line between being perceived as spam or as a helpful autoresponders. The more popular autoresponders would include the following choices. Auber being an uncomplicated system, it caters to the setting up of new campaigns, inserting video and auto feeds while managing subscribers across multiple lists. Autoresponse Plus, having the convenience of installing this software into one's own server with a one-time only fee. It comes with the comprehensive facility to customize almost anything. Chapter 3: Learn how to use the autoresponder you have chosen. A synopsis. Choosing an autoresponder that is most suitable for purpose intended in a necessary point to consider, as making the wrong choice could eventually render the autoresponder rather useless or incompatible. Figure it out, then ensure the business endeavor continues on a smooth and successful path. Certain elements need to be considered periodically. The choice of autoresponder may vary as there may be a need to upgrade, should the growing business require such an adjustment. These autoresponders should ideally be able to provide a fairly persistent follow-up service for the close of sales and other follow-up correspondence. The multiple reminder benefits, which also include promptings for action to be taken on the part of the customer or subscriber, should be taken into account. All these should ideally cover all the possible leads for proper utilization of the system chosen. As most online business are focused on getting their products or services noticed, taking time out to ensure adequate follow-up services are provided, for is not always possible, thus the use of the autoresponder. Helping in a number of different ways, the autoresponder also functions as a newsletter and advertisement dispenser. If this feature is an important requirement to further the business venture and get it noticed, then the relevant autoresponder which provides this particular service should be chosen. Because there is a competitive market for autoresponders, it is often difficult to make the appropriate choice for the particular features needed to address the business requirements. Some of the autoresponders are quite comprehensive in their ability to provide features which are deemed suitable. Besides researching the various individual packages provided by the different units, one should also consider the reviews on the various autoresponders available in the market for purchase. This may be an effective way to make the most suitable choice. Chapter 4. Put an opt-in form on your site. A synopsis. Compelling prospects to visit a site and stay long enough to benefit both the host and the visitor is very important. Thus, all should be done to ensure this visit in the first instance. One of the best ways to do this is to provide for opt-in forms. The opt-in forms will allow for the facilitation of obtaining email addresses. Opt-ins, when there are visitors to the website, it would generally mean that the visitor has some interest in the site. To be there is the first place. Thus, making it easy for the visitor to complete the opt-in form will take them to the next step, which will eventually benefit the host. Making sure that the opt-in forms are optimized to boost the chances of harnessing as much opt-ins as possible is important. Through this clear indication of the prospect interest, the host can now take the time and trouble to cultivate a long-term business relationship through other complementing marketing resources available for such purposes. The following are some tips on how to optimize the opt-in forms. Making the form immediately visible without the necessity of having to scroll for it is important. Making the prospect's job as easy as possible is the idea here. Therefore, placing the opt-in in a visible position on the web page should easily facilitate this. Attracting them with benefits and offers to compel them to provide their contact information should be the main aim, as this would then make the opt-in feature worth having. Keeping the form easy and short is also another important point to ensure, as most people do not really want to waste time with such tasks in the first place. Only ask for information that is relevant. Another feature to consider that has proven its worth is the second opt-in or double opt-in facility. This is mainly to ensure the information provided for by the prospect is legitimate, and also to reconfirm their desire to continue receiving information from the host. Chapter 5. Separate your lists into specific target markets. A synopsis. Though it is possible to send autoresponders to everyone on the host's emailing list, it is not wise to use a one-for-all style. Using this style, where a single autoresponder is chosen to presumably address all the varied needs of all the participants on the mailing list, would be a folly indeed. Therefore, a wiser course of action would be to separate the lists into more specific target markets, which in turn would more than ensure the individual prospector's needs are being adequately addressed. Your lists. In the quest to grow a business, there may be the urge to market the product or service to a wide and target lacking audience. And though this line of thought does have its merits, it may be more prudent to focus on a particular target audience to optimize resources and success rates. If the lists consist of a wider variety of prospects with varied needs, then using the tools to target those needs would be better served with a separating exercise to ensure each prospect's needs are categorized accordingly. When this has been successfully done, then only should the choice be made for the most suitable and complementing autoresponder tool. This does not mean that the host has to disregard or dispose of perceived unprofitable prospect. Neither does it mean that the idea of only catering to a specific target audience should be encouraged. On the contrary, it simply means that by the separation, exercise the needs of the prospects are carefully considered and can be better addressed as opposed to randomly trying to sell something to someone that really has either no need for the product or has not interest in making a purchase. This is important as prospect should be entertained with a certain amount of delicacy, as the market platform is unlimited, and they can and will seek to fulfill their needs elsewhere. Chapter 6. Research what your market needs and supply that. A synopsis. Before venturing into any business venture, some research should first be conducted as to its viability and possible anticipated success. The same amount of caution and attention should be given to researching the needs of the eventual prospect to ensure there is a confident supply to address those needs. Failing to consider this very important element would eventually result in the business engine being unable to meet the demands of its market's needs. What do they need? Understanding the prospect is a priority if one intends to set up a business that will be able to compel the prospect into becoming a loyal customer. This research should include as many detailed facts about the market sentiment and its needs of the current time. Current needs and future needs should be carefully considered and anticipated in this exercise. Therefore, there is a need to first understand the business entity and its relation to being able to provide the necessary assistance needed for the prospect. Upon gaining some insight into the eventual needs, then the business entity can focus on supplying these needs adequately and in a timely fashion. Being able to supply or cater to these needs is an important way to keep the relationship on a positive note. Using the autoresponders to keep track of the customer's or prospector's needs will help the host focus on other perhaps more pressing matters, such as ensuring the general flow of the business is kept on track. It also gives the host time to focus on looking into new or other complementing business areas that might be profitable to dabble in. Should the need arise to address any issues of possible delays in the supply, or if the supply does not suit the needs of the prospect, then the host can concentrate on making the necessary adjustments to rectify the situation. Chapter 7. Supply support for those who ask. A synopsis. Whenever a potential prospect visits a site, there is already an indication of his or her interest in the material being presented. However, there may be instances whereby some additional material may be required in order to further convince the prospect of the merits of the product or service being featured. At this point, the follow-up service provided by the host is most important, as it will create the atmosphere for future trust and reliability issues. Customer service, therefore the element of support or assistance to be provided for, is a very important issue to consider in the quest to ensure a successful working relationship with all concerned. Some of the supply support expected may come in the form of providing suitable management methods to the prospect, so that they are able to handle the business entity which they desire to be part of. It may also include various practices and procedures that should or could be adopted to ensure the optimum results are harnessed to facilitate the desired revenue. Goods and services is also another area where some assistance may be needed or sought. The prospect would definitely look to the host to provide such support, as the host would be deemed to be the more experienced party, and thus would know and understand the business, product, or service on a much better level. Product knowledge is also another area that there may be some support needed. Support in the form of assisting the prospect in understanding the merits of the product and its many uses, or learning how to promote the items may be needed. Using the autoresponders that can channel the request adequately is important so that the host can then deal with the issues being brought up by the prospects. Without the autoresponders in place, the host may not be able to reach out to the prospects, as there may be a deluge of mail that is not categorized by its needs, thus creating a chaotic situation. Chapter 8. The importance of immediate response. A synopsis. The competitive market arena today does not make allowances for tardiness, which may come in the perceived form of delays and inadequate responses. Most people expect an immediate response to their requests, queries, or problems, and when this is not forthcoming, the immediate reaction would be to seek this gratification elsewhere. Thus, the need to focus on the importance of an immediate and adequate response. Response time. Using autoresponders are a huge help when the host is being overwhelmed with emails, and time is an important factor in being able to adequately answer all the emails. The level of professionalism is often shown and even reflected in the speed and adequacy of the response given to any query. A delay in response could result in the loss of business or the potential customer to a competitor. The autoresponder can be programmed with the relevant input to ensure the various responses programmed are suitable and comprehensive in providing the information sought. Timely responses can also provide valuable input into the progress of the business and how it is being received by the target audience. The responses, when done in an immediate fashion, can help to address problems or discrepancies that may be in existence without the host being aware of it. This is important to the survival factor of the business entity, as not knowing about anything that is negatively affecting the business is just as detrimental as not working on its success. Wrapping up, as in most cases, email is considered the primary platform of communication between the host and the prospects. The business entity will not survive inadequate response, time frames, or delayed ones. The success of the business should not be based on impulse buying customers, but with customers where a strong and lasting relationship can be fostered with email.